Hello and welcome back to Larrikin Photography. So today I thought we'd talk about, now you've just bought your camera, you bought your lenses and that, how do you keep them safe? So in Japan here, it gets so humid in winter, in summer I mean, not winter. So it's so humid, like days you get 80-90% humidity. Now, camera gear does not like humidity. Humidity grows mold. Last thing you want is mold growing in your lenses. You just throw them away. They're useless once mold grows in them. So what I have, there's a few different ways you can do this. There's like a cabinet you can buy and it keeps the humidity at a certain level. What I did it on a bit cheaper. I bought these boxes. So I got one here and I got another one down here. This one down here I keep flashes and all this thing. This one I use for my camera and lenses. So it's got a little dial on here. You can see here. So it's got dry, best, and wet. So now it is getting between dry, best and wet. So it's time to change the things in it. So I use these, and these suck the moisture out of the air and hold it in here. So these are really good. They're really cheap. You know, these aren't expensive to buy and they keep your gear really good. So we'll just have a look inside. Now, in here, so I've got my lenses. I've got all my different lenses I keep in here. So we've got plenty of lenses. And then this is like a thing that goes on the bottom of the camera. So it gives you another trigger and that sort of thing. And you put an extra battery in, so if you're doing a lot of photography, you're gonna last all day. And then I got my camera in here. I got a shield for the lens, and I got a cable. Now the cables, you really need these if you are doing. Oh, this is for power anyway. But if you triggers are good when you're doing thing. So I've got a couple of towels, then I've got a couple of these. See that now they're all wet. I just put 2 in and that's enough. These are wet. So I just pull them out. We'll open up the bag here. Fish out 2 new ones. Put them in. I just put them upside down like that. Then I put my towels in over the top, and this just gives it all a bit of a cushion and just keeps the camera gear off them. So I just set them up, just set my boxes up like that. And then I got my different lenses. Now, we'll just talk about lenses while I'm here. So this lens, it's a tank, it's a beauty. This lens is probably over 20 years old. It is for sure, I bought it about 20 years ago. This is an 80-200 f2.8. So this, you can get really nice, you can blur the background on it. It's a super clear lens. This is a great lens, absolutely fantastic. This lens here, this is a sort of cheaper one. This one, it was made in Thailand, not Japan. It is a 28-300. It's a good all-purpose lens. You can do a lot of things with this. It's not a bad lens. The photos are pretty good, but it doesn't go down to 2.8. It's 3.6, I think it is. And it's a VR. It's sort of got like, takes vibration out. It's not a bad lens for the price. And that's its hood. Its hood goes on that one. And then I have, this is a 105 macro lens. This is a 2.8. This is a fantastic lens. It takes really good macro photos. I like macro. I really enjoy macro. This lens here, this is another macro lens. This is a 60 and it's another 2.8. I picked this one up at a secondhand shop for 30 bucks and it's a great lens, really good lens. Then we have, this is a prime lens. This is a 50, 1.4, really nice lens. These are good lens, prime lens. 1.4, you can really, with 1.4 you can really blur out that background because you can open it up so much. And then this is a 20mm 2.8, great for wide angle. If you want to make something look bigger than it is, like rooms and that, these are fantastic. And then this is like a doubler sort of thing. It's not real flash. I got it, but I never use it. It doesn't really, it's not that good. And then this cable, actually you can plug in and you can hook it up to USB and power your camera like that if you're using it like that. Spare battery, it goes into this, so I can take others. And then I got my camera. So I got the Nikon D800 and it just goes in. And then I got my tripod mount. So especially if I'm using big lenses and that, I'll put them on tripod. And macro, if I'm doing macro, it always goes on the tripod because you don't want any movement. You want to keep everything as still as you can. When you're up real close to something, just a tiny little bit of movement will blur it. So tripods are, you really need a tripod. But anyway, that's how I keep my camera gear safe from mold and that, and clean. You know, these boxes are sort of like airtight, so you don't get dust and stuff in it. They're the way to go. So you should get yourself a box, and then you just use these things in here. You can see they're all wet. They're ready for the garbage bin. And I do the same with my, I've got the same thing with my, hang on, I'll just put the camera down for a sec. I got the same thing here with my flashes and that. So we'll have a bit of a look in this box while we're going. So it's the same. It probably needs changing too. It's been a long time. So what does it say? Yeah, it's the same, dry. It's getting wet. So yep, time to change. So the triggers for flashes in here. I just made this little bag up to keep them. This helps control. I've got a lot of flashes. I bought a lot of these Chinese ones. I got them cheap. They weren't bad. This one is a proper Nikon flash. It's the best. It is the best. It's the best flash. And then I got batteries. I use rechargeable batteries. I don't really like buying batteries and then use them once and throw them away. And then I just got some filters, so I can, if I'm doing waterfalls or stuff like that, I can get a bit dark, blur the water. So these are the same. Yep, these are wet. So we'll just get a couple more of those. Of these, got a couple new ones. We just drop them in. Put the towel. I like the towel. It just sort of keeps everything nice. And then I just put everything back in. But that's sort of how it all works. And this is the best way to keep your gear safe. You know, like you spend a lot of money buying all this stuff. It all costs a lot of money. Like my body, it cost $3 grand. We seen it at the camera shop the other day, second hand, $500. So yeah. But after I did that video, I was talking to a woman there about the mirrorless cameras. Now, these mirrorless cameras, I think they are the way to go. They're unreal. I was looking at the high-end ones, not the real cheap ones, the high-end ones. But they're unreal how they focus on different things. And she was telling me, before Nikon and Canon, they were the big guns. Hang on, I'll just get rid of this so I can sit down and have a bit of a yarp. Righto, yeah. So Nikon and Canon, they were the big guns. They had the market share. But now Sony has 60% of the market share, which really surprised me. And they seem pretty good. She uses a Nikon, a Sony camera, and she's got a 800mm lens, and she takes a lot of photos of birds. She likes taking photos of birds, and there's a special setting on the camera for birds, and you put it up towards the bird, you half press the button, and it will focus in on, it will get the bird focus in on his eye, and you take the photo. It is as sharp as sharp. It was really good, very impressive. Now, another thing I thought was really good with these mirrorless cameras is when you look through the viewfinder, when you adjust the different settings, so if you adjust your ISO or if you adjust your aperture or your shutter speed, it will change how the picture's going to look. So you know what the picture's going to look like before you take the picture, which is really good. Now, if we're using like my camera, so if I take a photo, then I have to have a look. I'll look at the back of the camera to see what the photo looked like. That's no good. Okay, I need a bit more. I need to shut down the aperture 2 stops. So I do that and then take a photo. Oh yeah, that's looking a bit better. Maybe adjust the shutter speed a little bit, and then, oh yeah, that's getting pretty good now. But with the mirrorless cameras, you can do all that before you even take the photo. You know what it's going to look like, which I thought was really good. So I think if you have the money, if you're going to start out and you want to get into the photography and you're going to buy a camera, I think you're probably better, if you've got the money and you don't mind spending the money, I think mirrorless is the way to go. For sure. They've advanced so much. Like my camera now is 11 years old. In 11 years, the technology has just gone ahead, leaps and bounds. So now I'm really thinking about getting a mirrorless camera. So I'm really thinking about it. And like now, my lenses, Nikon lenses, they won't fit on a Canon or they won't fit on a Sony or anything like that. She was telling me with the mirrorless cameras, you can get adapters so you can fit any lens to your camera. So like if I got a Sony camera, I could use my Nikon lenses on it, or I could use Canon lenses on it. So that really was amazing, that now you can use you can use any lens on the different cameras. You can just buy adapters for them. If they're as good as the lens with the camera maker's lens, I'm not sure. So if a Nikon lens on a Sony camera is going to be as good as a Sony lens, I'm not 100% sure. But it was interesting. Anyway, that's it for today. Just a little bit talk about how to look after your gear when you buy it. And, you know, you don't want to spend all this money and then you leave it out and then it gets moldy or something like that and you've wasted all this money. It's not worth it. You know, spend a little bit of money and protect your gear. That is the way to go. Anyway, that's it for today. Next time, I think we might get out and we might take a few photos. So we might do a little bit of macro photography. So we'll get the tripod out and I'll show you there's 2 different ways you can use. I've got an electronic shutter release and I've got a cable shutter release. So we'll have a bit of a try of both of them. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, have a good one.